Back Home Media.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 55 of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggi, and joining us again, Derrick down there in Arizona, and Kelsey. How you doing, Kelsey?
I'm great. How about you?
Not doing too bad tonight. Been a busy day trying to get stuff done and getting ready for the show. My days off from work are my catch-up days, so I've been playing catch-up all day.
Coming on a little late tonight, y'all.
Yeah, a little bit, about a half hour late. Sorry about that, everybody.
We had technical difficulties.
I see that. What is Stream Elements bot?
Not sure. Oh, it must be some YouTube stuff. Something from Stream Elements? I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, it's got like a little YouTube icon in there. So I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's from YouTube. I don't know what that is. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. How about that? We got Lubbock, Texas in the house.
All right. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Robin. Thanks for joining us.
My brother just moved here to the desert from Lubbock, Texas. They really liked it there. It's got that big college there. So I never knew Lubbock was big. Like I always thought it was a small town. And then my brother moved there.
Hey, Rod.
What up, Rod?
But everything in Texas is big, so you should have known better.
Yeah.
Hey, Mindy, Washington County.
My brother's like, it's bigger than Amarillo. I'm like, oh.
Texas is a huge state. I remember one time I flew to Dallas, and I was tripping out because there were flights from Dallas to Houston. I'm like, aren't we already in Texas?
There's Dottie in the spot. Hey, Dottie. Robin says
250,000 population. That's a huge town. That's because of that college, too.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of college.
Jason's there from Victoria.
Nice.
Well, welcome, you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, everything is bigger in Texas.
She said, Robin, everything's bigger in Texas.
Hey, Monday.
I like seeing the people we see every week. We should come up with a name for our people that watch every week, like our crew. A name for
right.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
The KMU crew.
Right?
There we go. The KMU crew. Look at this. We have Ulysses, Kansas in the house.
All right.
Hey, Sandra.
Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Russell, El Dorado Springs, Missouri.
Russell, Kansas.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, Mary. Happy Thursday.
Yes. Happy Thursday.
West in Texas by way of KCMO on April Fool's Day.
I feel like it's been such a long time since we did the podcast, since we do Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
Wait for Thursday. Like it takes so.
Watching from Illinois. Lisa Strong watching from Illinois. Miguel.
Oh, wow.
Garden City.
That's my old city, man. That's where I'm from. Garden City. Well, I'm from Elkhart, but I lived in Garden City for a long time.
She's in the house from Como. We got a Wichita.
KMU.
Yeah. Wichita.
That's awesome. We are from all over the map tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Please share the show if you haven't done so.
Definitely.
Like the page. It helps us if people are liking it. Hit us with some reactions real quick. The more interaction we have on this, the more chance we have to share this out organically and help find some people. We love doing this show every week. So thanks everybody. We love you. We love that you're here. Radium. Okay, awesome. Awesome.
Is that a town?
I don't know. That sounds like
sounds nuclear.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I'm nervous. So keep shouting out where you're from, everybody. You are watching the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. They're gonna get in some cases here in just a minute.
If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888.
All right, we're going to start off with Ben Unrein, who is missing from Topeka, Kansas since April 28th, 2021. He is 17 years old. He is 6 foot tall, weighs 160 pounds. He has brown hair that's dyed blonde and blue eyes. It's believed he's still in the Topeka area. He has both ears pierced, and he has a tattoo on the inside of his right forearm. Not exactly sure what that is.
Yeah, and I didn't we were in such a hurry, and I didn't actually. I forgot I was going to pull that picture of his tattoo.
Yeah, and I can't think of what that is.
I'll just show it.
I'm trying to think of what I got a name in my head, but I can't come up with the word. It's like what, it's like what like a merman would use underwater, like King Midas has down there, or whatever his name is.
I'll look at it. I'll get it on the screen. Maybe somebody can help us. There it is.
But anyway, if you have any information regarding Benjamin's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9200 or 785-296-4017. Trident is what I'm thinking of.
Trident. Let me get that on the screen real quick just so everybody can see what we're talking about. Give me 2 shakes of a second.
Yep, Ray. Yep, that's what I was thinking of, Mary. Yep, that's what I was thinking of, Ray Trident. It hit me as I was reading off the phone number.
I figured that's a word you'd know about. Trident?
Yep.
I figured that'd be something you'd know, right? Let me get that picture up on the screen real quick. 1 second. There we go. There's the tattoo.
Yeah, right there. Looks like a little trident kind of thing.
Yeah. So if anybody in the Topeka area has seen Benjamin, hard to miss, 6 foot tall dude. Got some dyed blonde hair. Looks like he's got some piercings, all that kind of stuff. Looks kind of like a regular kid. Topeka, Kansas, if you've seen him, call the numbers. You know, this is go time. He's got people worried about him.
Yeah, and we got Alex Perez still missing from Ulysses. Been 5 months now. Yes, it has. And I'll tell you what, as long as we got his flyer up there. He's been missing since December 1st. He's 35, 5'11", 235, black hair, but tends to shave it almost bald and brown eyes. He contacted a family member via telephone on December 1st and advised he would be coming over to wash his laundry. He never arrived at the family member's home in Ulysses, and he's not been heard from or seen by family or friends since that date. He'd been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It's believed he still may be in the local Ulysses area, or that he may be in the Garden City, Kansas, or surrounding area. He has a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye, which you can see in a couple of those pictures there. And he also has Perez tattooed on one of his arms, and he has that tattoo along his collarbone.
Right.
Right there as well. And if you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or KBI at 785-296-4017.
Go ahead and give him a Crime Stoppers number too, because I know in situations like this, a lot of people think, oh, I know something, but snitches get stitches. Well, that's why the police have this wonderful thing called an anonymous tip. Call them, do the whole thing where you block your phone number, call them from a payphone. I don't think payphones exist anymore. Remove yourself as far as you can away from it. Call the Crime Stoppers hotline. Let them know what you know. It's been since December 1st. It is time to get the ball moving on this situation. We need to know what we're fighting here. We need to have information on where Alexander Perez, last known whereabouts from people that haven't spoke yet. So, Ricky, go ahead and give them a Crime Stoppers number that they can call anonymously.
I'm looking for it as we speak here.
Awesome.
Garden City Crime Stoppers is 620-275-7807, or you can text your tip to Garden City PD at GC Tip and your tip to tip 411-847-411, and keep yourself anonymous that way.
Yeah. Alex has a son, and he has a lot of family that are just want to know what happened to him.
Right.
They live this every day, and they need that closure to be able to move on with their life. So.
Yeah. And Kelsey's got a page devoted to just Alex's case. And how can they find that page?
It's Alexander Perez missing Ulysses, Kansas.
Yep, and you can message her there with any information as well, and she can relay that on as well.
Remain anonymous. I mean, I won't give anybody up if somebody knows something.
Right.
Like I said, he's got a lot of family and friends that have reached out to me since I've made this page. And they just want to know what happened to Alex. They want to, want some closure. Not like him to be gone for this long and without contacting a family member. So,
yeah, I mean, it's been, and we've gotten to you more, especially Kelsey, have gotten to know the family a lot more. But we all in the last, 5 months have all gotten 6 months. We've all gotten to know the case to know that it's obviously been enough time that we're officially past worried at this point. No contact from Alexander since December 1st, 2020. It doesn't look good. We understand that. But that doesn't. We don't know anything. That's the problem. Nobody knows anything. And if you're out there and you know something, I completely get you not running to the police station in your car and with your face and saying, "Hey, I know this." I totally get that. But take advantage of some of these Crime Stopper numbers. Take advantage of these anonymous tips. This, like she said, he has a kid. Alexander has a kid. His kid deserves to know whether or not his father is still on this earth or not. So
exactly,
all this stuff matters, folks.
Yeah. Yep. And here's one we've covered, I think, once or twice now. Adriana Pack, she's still been missing from Wichita. So if anybody knows, where she's at, she's been missing since February 21st of this year. So if anybody knows where she's at, you can call the Wichita Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And, get your information in on if you know where she may be, as she needs to be found.
Yeah. And that has been just about as long, man. I mean, that's been a long time ago.
Yeah, I've been getting information on another young lady that we've covered, and I've been relaying that on too in hopes of helping getting her found too. So hopefully we can get her located as well.
Have you heard any updates on Adriana? Is this like somebody where they just can't seem to pin her down, or there's been radio silence from everybody?
It's just been silence. I haven't really heard any updates as far as I haven't heard whether there's been any sightings or if they think she may be in a certain part of Wichita or maybe she made it outside of Wichita. I haven't heard anything along those lines at all.
I mean, because a lot of times in the work we do here, in this line of work, we'll have somebody missing for 4 months, but we at least know that they're at least taunting Ricky on Facebook saying like, "Hey, take my flyer down." Or they're taunting their family. They're basically showing signs of life. So anytime there hasn't been a sign of life since, like both last two cases we've covered, that is go time, folks. Like this is a 17-year-old girl that has not been seen.
And Amanda is her aunt. Okay, Amanda.
That's awesome.
Thank you for watching tonight and letting us know she still hadn't been located yet.
I mean, the time to act is now. If you've seen this girl, if you've heard of this girl.
She said they passed her off as a runaway and didn't care until we started pushing. See, and I've talked about that before about, even if they do think that these kids are runaways, I still think there needs to be importance and emphasis put on it because they don't know if they ran away on their own. They don't know if they were coerced or talked into running away by a predator online or something. So,
right. And Ricky,
go ahead.
A couple weeks ago, well, I think it was the last podcast that we did, we used the term runaway and, we really shouldn't use that. It should be endangered missing because we don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, and that's the problem is they think that, once we run the flyer a couple of times, oh, well, they're just a repeat offender. Well, obviously there's an issue there that is not being dealt with. So we need to look for them even more. Like what's going on that you keep, disappearing, like something's an issue,
right?
Like we shouldn't refer to them as runaways, like something's going on in the home or whatever. So these I feel especially need more attention,
right? And I used to strictly say just missing when even if they were considered runaway, I would say missing. But when I started doing more Wichita, I actually was requested by the Wichita Police Department to incorporate runaway in there. So for them, I do that. And then when the pandemic started, I considered them all endangered missing because, with the pandemic and as fast as it was spreading, to me, that was considered endangered to me. So, I mean.
Well, and I feel like runaway is such a derogatory term anymore.
It is. It's a label, and I don't like it.
Exactly. And so when you hear the term runaway, you think, oh, well, they're just a runaway. No, something's going on with them. That's why they need even more attention. Like, we need to and get them help that they need, and not just label them, as a runaway, because a lot of them that are labeled as runaways are, in the Wichita or Topeka area, and it's in a group home, a bad situation. So there's something going on there. So I feel it's more imperative for us to find them, because, they're more likely to be trafficked, or, because they're trying to escape obviously a bad situation if they're so-called running from it, So.
Yeah. And I did find out that what contributes to the fact that there's a lot of kids missing out of Wichita is majority of the group homes are in Wichita. There's quite a few in Topeka, but there's a lot in Wichita. So
in Topeka, I think that's mainly where they send them to, the evaluation centers or the mental health, so that should be more of a reason to look for these children. There's something on why they're in Wichita or why they're in Topeka. There's much more to the story. So that's even more why we should be concerned about these children. I mean, they're there, they're 14, 15, 16, and if they keep running, like, they need help.
Yeah.
People just pass it off as, oh, they just ran again. No, there's a bigger problem there.
Amanda, check your private message. Check your messages, your message requests. I sent you a friend request. You obviously don't have to be my friend. I just wanted to send a friend request so you'd see it. I just sent you a private message to see if you wanted to join us for a few minutes on screen and tell us more about this case. We'd always love to hear from the family. And, this is our show. We can kind of do what we want. If you do want to come on, I did send you a private message. Just let me know through that private message if you want to join us, and we would love to bring you on. What is she saying here? I would guess that's just important to seek them so they can be helped regardless.
Exactly.
Definitely. Yeah.
Exactly what I just was trying to emphasize right there.
Yeah. And like I was saying, even though they may think they're runaways, I still think they need to be found as if they were endangered missing, because, like I said, in some of these cases, they may not have ran away because they wanted to run away or because it was their choice. They may have been coerced or talked into it by somebody they were communicating with online.
Exactly.
And with the trafficking problem that's going on out there, it's to me, it's important to make sure that they're finding them, regardless whether they think, oh, they're just a runaway, because I don't buy that, oh, they're just a runaway.
No. I don't buy that either. I think there's there's a bigger issue there.
Yeah.
She said she walked out of a girl's home and no one went after her.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know why they don't try to at least say, hey, no, don't, stay put.
Yeah.
I guess unless they're worried about them taking a swing on them or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm not trying to defend anybody here, and everybody does, different things, but I know that me personally, being in a foster home and a group home, I mean, in a group home especially, you have a lot of other children that you're looking for.
Right.
So you have to kind of, divide your attention among them. So if one takes, what really can you do other than, call authorities and say, hey, so-and-so took off, but I've also, however many kids in this home that I still am responsible for. Definitely. So sometimes maybe that we don't always know the situation. So we don't, we always think, oh, well, I would do this, or maybe they should have done that. But again, there's only so much you can do sometimes too.
Yeah, so, that's a good point. That is a good point. When there's 5, 10, 15, 20 girls in there.
Right. I mean, one takes off. What are you supposed to do? You still have, others you have to look after. Right. You can't leave them unattended. You just call authorities and, so, and it's just a bad situation all around, because again, they just get looked at like, oh, it's just a runaway. We shouldn't be concerned, but these are the ones that we should be more concerned about. There's a bigger issue going on, why they keep taking off, or whatever the situation is. Or if someone lured them away, someone could have lured them away too.
Yeah. Her aunt said that she got into an argument with another girl and walked out, and that's it. Not a trace from there. My signal out here and radio won't link up, she says.
It's okay. We just like to always, and anybody watching, if you have any relation to any of the cases we have, or a case that we've covered in the past, or a case we should cover, consider this like a community open platform where we'll hand you a microphone for a few minutes and let you say what you need to say.
Amanda, satisfy my curiosity. Where is radium at? I have never heard of that.
Never heard of that one either, my friend.
She says she appreciates the invite.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, definitely.
Yeah, radium. Where's that at?
I have never heard of it. Sounds radioactive.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Ricky, tell us about Ciara Parker.
All right. Ciara Parker. I'm going to find her on my list here. She's missing from Wichita, Kansas. Been missing since April 12th, 2021. She's 15 years old. She is 5'7" tall, weighs 140 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Ciara's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't generate some information and get her found. And, Ciara and, all the other teens that we've covered so far and the ones we're going to continue here in a little bit. If you guys see this show, you see your flyer, call somebody, let them know where you are and where they can come get you at and get you back where you need to be. Okay. And Amanda says radium's between Great Bend and Larned. So out there in the western part somewhere.
Ciara has really cool hair.
Yeah. My
hair kind of did like how fluffy it is in the picture on the far right. My hair kind of did that when I was in my early 20s, when I'd grow it out.
Oh, wow.
She's so young, though, to be out there and just...
Yeah, 15.
Let somebody know that you're okay.
Yeah, definitely. Start by letting somebody know you're okay, and then we'll work. Then let's work on getting you back where you need to be.
Right.
Yeah. Teacher, maybe a parent or a friend you trust.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Derrick. Yep.
If you're a church person, maybe somebody
pastor.
At the church.
Yeah. Something. Yeah.
There are
honestly. You being a 15-year-old runaway, honestly, you can probably go just about anywhere where you would expect responsible adults to be and just say, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
And they would probably help you out and get you where you need to be. And if it's a situation where you can't get away from where you're at, this is where the viewers come into play. We need to know where Ciara is. We need to have a sign of life is what we call it. We need to have something like a Snapchat, a text, a message to somebody, just something that shows that she's still around. And that's what we need right now. So if anybody's seen or heard or anything about Ciara Parker, contact the Wichita Police Department.
Yep, definitely. Please do. And if anybody has any information on where she is, call that in and let somebody know, please. Yeah. It looks like we have Marie Hopkins joining us from Wichita. Hi, Marie. Thank you for joining us.
That's awesome. Tell us about Dante Dupree.
All right. I just posted him just right before the show. He's missing from Topeka, Kansas since April 28th, 2021. He's 17 years old. He's 5'9", weighs 175 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. Deontay is called TJ by his friends. It's believed he may still be in the local Topeka area or he may be in the Chanute, Kansas area. His hair looks like it's black, and he has recently cut his dreadlocks off, so his hair is probably about an inch long now. If you have any information regarding Deontay's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or KBI at 785-296-4017.
Wow.
And Deontay, again, if you see this or somebody tells you about it, let somebody know where you're at so we can get you back where you need to be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We see a lot of times when people are 17, and I'm sure some viewers are like, what does it matter? They're going to be 18 soon, Yeah. But rules are rules, people. Until you're 18, you're kind of, people need to know where you are. It's just the way this country is designed. Yeah.
Wow. She turned 18 yesterday.
And that's what I'm just talking about. I'm talking about these people that, you know, are on the cusp of turning 18, but still, I mean, what does Adrian Pack being an adult and Adrian Pack being a minor have to do with the fact that nobody's heard from her? You know, it's like, now that she's an adult, it's like, it's this, you know, now it's just, again, it's just, it doesn't matter if somebody's 17, if they're like, you know, 30 days away from being an adult. If you don't know, if nobody has seen you or heard from you in a while and you end up on Ricky's desk, like that's, so the whole 17 thing, it's not really about 18 becoming an adult. It's like about you're missing, you know, it's like you're missing, you know, we don't care if you're going to be an adult in 2 months, like you're missing. Nobody knows where you are. That's alarming.
Definitely.
My daughter used to do that to me. She'd be like, I'm almost 18. I'm like, you're not 18 yet. So, you know, chill. Like, you're still a kid to me. And she's almost 20 now. So she's still a child to me.
I was going to say, she's probably still kind of a kid to you. Like,
well, she is, you know. Yeah, she's going to be 20 in a few days, but she's still my child. And I still see her as that, you know. So I still want to know where she's at. You know,
here's Adriana's mom. Oh, Marie's Adriana's mom. And definitely, I agree with you on that, Marie. I've got 2 teenage daughters myself. One's getting ready to be 15, one's getting ready to be 17, and I still think of them as my babies too. So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Mine are actually babies.
Yeah.
Toddlers, but this, you know, it's. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when you see the 17, some people are just like, well, they're almost an adult. They can be missing if they want. It's like, yeah, almost is the word in there that we're not, you know, we want to make sure they're almost an adult. But even then, if you're out here watching and you're 16, 17 years old, it's not cool to just ghost everybody you know. Like, you know, anytime you end up on Ricky's desk, that means people are worried sick about you.
Right.
You know, like just the not knowing what's going on. So, like, it literally has nothing. We have, if you notice, we have people that are 15, 17, and we have people that are 50 or 60 on this show. Like, missing is missing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what age you are, people are still want to know that you're okay and you're safe. You know, if you don't want to see your family, fine, but just say, hey, I'm okay. You know, give them peace of mind, you know, to know that you're not lying in a ditch somewhere or, you know.
And I know, like, people that... And I understand people don't want to be found too. Like there was a guy on Unsolved Mysteries I was watching, and it wasn't the most recent one. It was an older episode, and this guy had went missing, and Unsolved Mysteries tracked him down. No, it wasn't Unsolved Mysteries. It's a different show. They tracked this guy down. They didn't catch him. They found his apartment and he wasn't home, and they talked to his neighbors. And they went back the next day, and the guy's all of his stuff was gone. I'm like, he wasn't missing. He just didn't like anybody. I was like, he was like, oh no, they caught me. Like, so that happens like every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do understand that some people want to be where, you know, where nobody knows where they are. But I mean, that is really irresponsible and really rude to do that. I mean, to just not tell anybody you're okay when people are worrying if you're alive, you know? But yeah, so for the most part, I feel like, you know, with a lot of people we cover on this show, there is I don't really feel like we should write anybody off as, oh, they want to be missing. I really think that every situation is very dangerous when somebody's not accounted for. Right.
Yeah, Maria says they always will be, and that's, you know, I agree with you, Maria. They always will be, you know, no matter, and I've even told them that. I've told them, says, no matter how old you guys get, you'll always be my baby.
Right.
You know. Yeah, Monty brings up a good point. Feels like teens couldn't completely ghost everyone with all the social media and tech. Yeah, that's true, because a lot of these kids that, you know, whether you want to call them missing or runaways, they stay active on social media.
Yeah,
they really do.
And that's the one where that's why I ask Ricky sometimes when we cover a case, I'm like, what do you know about this? Like, is there any kind of sign of life? Is there any social media being done? And if there's like none of that, you know, and a lot of times we don't know. We only know what we get told. But if I hear that there hasn't been any interaction, like that's scary, you know, to know that somebody who is a teenager, not even a teenager, I'm a 38-year-old man. If you took my phone away from me, I would throw a tantrum. Like a legit tantrum. Like, I need my phone. I need my social media.
Yeah.
So really, when you see a teenager who's not utilizing social media whatsoever, that's very scary stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Well, I think that a lot
missing is scary.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of these families, just like with Alex, like they know like the behavior is unusual for them. So they immediately know something's wrong. Just like with Brian Trester, like he was always in contact with his family. And, he might have been in a little bit of trouble with the law, and they passed it off as like, oh, he's just absconding. But the family's like, no, this is not his typical behavior. So, when you're with a family member, like, something's not right,
Mm-hmm. And I believe I have that on Adriana's flyer, too, as well, that her social media has been absolutely quiet.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that makes it even scarier.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, these little details, folks, they matter. Yeah. These little details matter.
They do. And that's the whole thing, too. Like, sometimes people think little details don't matter. Like, if you know something, even as small as it may be, speak up, tell somebody. You're not bothering anybody by speaking up. You might be helping more than anything. And I think people pass that off as like, it's nothing.
Right.
Maybe something. So, don't be afraid. Don't be scared. You can be anonymous. You reach out to either one of us. We won't reveal your name. I've been contacted by somebody before and like, don't say this came from me, and I've had to pass on because I felt like it was important. Obviously, they felt like it was important enough to reach out to me, but they didn't want it coming from them.
Holy mackerel. Look at this. She has 9 Instagram and 5 Facebooks and 4 Snapchats. Plus TikTok.
Oh, wow.
She is a busy social media person. I mean, that's awesome. And you know what, though? Honestly, people that like, okay, so Adriana, like she's doing 9 Instagram, 5 Facebook. That's a job. You know that? Like, there's people out there that would pay somebody like that money to do that many accounts. Like that's a job. That's like a skill.
Keep up with 1 or 2, and I forget my
skill
half the time. So if you can keep up with all that, I mean.
Yeah, that's a definite skill. Like, so we know we got a bright cookie here. So that's why we gotta get the word out. And thank you for stopping by, both of you tonight, and having us pull that flyer.
And Adriana uses names like Anna Puck or Daddy Anna on her social media. I don't get the Daddy Anna. That one's interesting. I don't.
Who knows?
But
Speaking of interesting, I saw this flyer earlier when I pulled it, and I didn't have time to read over it. But I'm interested by this. We have Derrick and Edwin Brown. What's going on with this story?
Okay. Derrick's missing from Wichita, Kansas. Been missing since April 27th, 2021. It's believed that he's with his non-custodial father, Edwin D. Brown. Derrick's 7 years old. He's 4'8" and weighs 80 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Derrick's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. That's one of those cases where the non-custodial has the child and hadn't brought him back, and so they're trying. Okay. And Maria's doing a rundown of some of Adriana's.
Anna P.
Betty Anna. Hey, Patty. I didn't know you were in Georgia. It's a friend of mine.
She's out in Georgia, huh?
Yeah. Last I knew, she was up north.
We're reaching all over the place today.
But it's been a long while since I've talked to her. So, very long while since I've talked to her.
Right. Yeah, this is
okay. She said it's Baddie Anna, not Daddy. Okay, I'll correct that. I'm also going to update that she's 18 now too.
Okay, yeah, probably needs an update.
Yeah.
These are those ones that you see, though, and, she's in remission.
That's good, and I'm glad you're in remission, Patty. I didn't realize it had come back, but I'm glad you're in remission.
That's awesome. So this is one of those situations where, I don't share custody of children with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't envy anybody that does, because it just seems like it's just a nightmare. But hopefully, if you're out there listening, Edwin, let's go ahead and get back on track and make people less worried. I'm not sure what's going on in your life, but this can't be a step in the right direction as far as you having a relationship with your son. So,
right. You're very welcome, Amanda. You're very welcome. We do our best.
All right. So tell us about Dylan Ford.
All right. Dylan Ford is missing from Blue Springs, Missouri. Been missing since April 30th, 2021. 15 years old. He is 5'8", 120 pounds. Was not able to get a hair or eye color. Officers were called to the 1600 block of Southwest 14th Street, just south of Southwest Clark Road in Blue Springs, to take the report. He was last seen wearing a tan hoodie, khaki blue jeans, and blue Nike shoes. If you have any information regarding Dylan's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Blue Springs, Missouri Police Department Dispatch Unit at 816-228-0151 or the media hotline at 816-228-0100 or text to tip anonymously to crimes 274637 and include BSPD along with your message. And actually, that was when I meant to look to see if there was any updates on his case because I have not checked. But yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah. Let me take a look and see if there's any real quick updates on his case. I should have done that before the show, but I didn't have time to do that like I needed to. And I apologize.
Blue Springs, Missouri.
Yeah, Blue Springs. Let's see here.
Just looking for updates right now.
It's not showing any updates as far as being found, so it appears he's still actively missing. So,
okay.
I'm looking through all the comments real fast, and there's no updates on the comments from Blue Springs, and they haven't updated the actual post saying that he's been found or anything. So we'll. If anybody knows anything about his disappearance, please call it in and let them know so they can get him found because he needs to be found. He's another 15-year-old that doesn't need to be out there.
Needs to be accounted for.
Yeah. Definitely.
What about Kamerin?
All right, Kamerin Keil. He is missing from Kansas City, Kansas since February 23rd, 2021. 16 years old. He's 5'7" to 5'10", weighs between 120 to 140 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. It's believed that he may be in the Atchison, Kansas area. If you have any information regarding Cameron's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And please, if anybody knows where he is, please let him know so they can get him back where he needs to be.
Did we during Adriana Pack's flyer, did one of us say anything about information was passed along on another girl that would also lead to finding Adriana? Somebody sent me a message.
I didn't see anything. I don't have anything like that on the flyer, no.
Okay. All right. Okay. I was just seeing what exactly was.
Well, hopefully we can help get her found because
that's too long.
It's scary to know that she hadn't been on social media for, since
anybody that
February.
Stops posting that has that many accounts, like that's got to be hard to not post.
Yeah,
you have 9 Instagrams. That's got to be difficult to not be posting on social media.
And her mom says no as well. So,
okay.
Mondi, this is a parent's worst nightmare. I have toddlers, and I know I'd be devastated if they went missing. I pray for the strength for these parents that are going through these difficult times. Yeah, I do as well. I do as well.
Okay.
Adriana's mom says the caseworker has been on it. Well, I'm glad. That's good to hear.
So we have quite a few cases to get through left tonight, guys. We're going to go ahead and keep cruising.
Okay.
Tell us about Makenzie Goodall.
All right. Makenzie Goodall is missing from Wichita, Kansas since April 16th, 2021. She's 13 years old. She's 5'2", weighs between 110 and 120 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. It's believed she may still be in Wichita or she may be in the Kansas City area. If you have any information regarding Mackenzie's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get her found. I mean, she's 13 years old. I mean, she needs to be found. They all do, but, you know, her being 13, that's, especially if she made it to Kansas City, you know, she really does need to be found.
Yeah. 13 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's crazy, man. 13 years old? That's just not good.
Oh, okay. Maria's clarifying here. She's saying she's been on logging into her account. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Maybe hoping to see if they can maybe get a tip on where she might be that way, maybe through a message or something, possibly. I don't know.
Location history, maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully they can narrow it down. If anybody knows anything regarding Mackenzie's disappearance, you know, call it in no matter how small it is.
That's what I'm saying, Diana. 13 years old is just being unaccounted for at 13. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a softie, but if I would have been left on my own accord at 13 years old, panic attack city.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm from a small town. Like, I probably would have been okay. You know,
Right.
You never know what people are going through. You know, you never know what mountain people are climbing, and who knows. But 13 years old, that just is a really young age to be non-accounted for. It's just
definitely.
Okay, we got a couple more for you guys tonight. Tell us about Miranda Maberry.
Okay. Let's pulling up some information on another one we're going to cover here in a little bit too. Miranda is missing from Lawrence, Kansas since April 14th, 2021. She's 17 years old. She's 5'4", weighs between 135 and 140 pounds. It's believed she's still in Lawrence. So if you have any information regarding Miranda's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department at 785-832-7509 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't help get her located and back where she needs to be. Because she definitely needs to be, they all need to be found. I mean, there's no question on that. So. Yeah. And Rod says, I wouldn't have made it myself. And Diana says I probably wouldn't have made it either, no matter how much I thought I could have at that age. Yeah,
I knew I couldn't at that age. I was like, man, I got a lot of quit in me. Like Ron White says, like I am not gonna make it by myself.
Yeah, I know I wouldn't have. I would have been chewed up and spit out at some point.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, sometimes some of these people are in situations where that's a better option. Just being out, you know, so that's, you know, as we know, it's a big web here, you know, like there's a lot of moving parts with this, but not being accounted for is not a good idea for anybody involved.
Right.
Tell us about Owen.
Okay. I've got to find his little flyer in my list here. He is missing from Wichita, Kansas since April 21st, 2021. He's 16 years old. He's 5'10", weighs 147 pounds, has blonde hair and blue eyes. He's believed he's still in Wichita. So if you have any information regarding Owen's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get him located and back where he needs to be. Now, Owen, if you see this, you know, call somebody, let them know where you are.
Yeah.
This is a big fear of mine too, Diana. It really is. It really is. That thought never strays far from my mind.
Well, and one thing we also talk about often on this show, Diana, is that if any of these people that are underage are with adults and those adults think it's a better idea to harbor them than to contact authorities knowing they have a missing and endangered well, you can't say that word, missing and endangered, what's the word for minor?
Mm-hmm.
Then they're not a responsible adult you would want a minor with. Anybody that was like, that whole like felony stuff, whatever, I'll just hang out with this kid. At the end of the day, it's a kid.
Yeah.
That's not a good situation. So any adults that are harboring runaways and they think it's like funny or cool, you're going to think that until you get caught and the justice system has its way with you because it's illegal. And any adults, anybody, if you're out there watching this and you're on the run or you're hanging out with some adult and you're like, you're unaccounted for, that person is actively breaking the law, hiding you. So they're not really a great role model at this point. They're not really a great person to look up to because they're willing to break the law to hide you. That's a very sketchy situation.
Definitely. Yep. And I think that if they would, threaten more people with harboring, that maybe they would think twice about it. If they would say, okay, you're going to harbor them, you're going to go down for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Patty brings up a good point too. Times were different, when we were growing up. It's more dangerous now.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is. Definitely. And Diana says for sure.
Mm-hmm. Got a couple more cases here for you guys. Tell us about Skylar C Ware.
Okay. And Skylar, he's been missing went missing from Kansas City, Missouri on May 10th of 2020. He's 26 years old. He's 5'9", weighs 160 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. He's suspected to have been in Blue Springs area sometime in either early or mid-June of that year. He was possibly with somebody named Chris. In addition to being 5'9", 160, and brown hair and brown eyes, he also has several tattoos. I've got a photo on there of the ones on his hand. It's also believed that he may be deceased as well, I think is what I had read. I could be wrong on that, but I think I read that they think he may be. If you have any information about the events that led up to his disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City Police Department at 816-234-5136 or the Jackson County, Missouri Sheriff's Office at 816-541-8017 or the TIPS hotline at 816-474-8477. Let's see if we can't help get him located. I read several articles pertaining to his case, and his mom feels like that police pretty much didn't take his case seriously from the start because of his, his criminal scrapes with, throughout his life and stuff. So she feels like they didn't take it seriously at first. And they didn't have any media involvement in looking for him or anything. The articles are just now hitting the media regarding his case now. That's how I learned of his case was that way.
Yeah, it's always sad when it seems like they take forever, but you never know, man. You and I and Kelsey, had to talk before the show, and you just never know what's going on. You just never know what's going on.
I think the fact that he had scrapes with the law, coupled with the fact that he was an adult, they're just like, well, if he can be missing if he wants. And one of the articles I read regarding him, they were showing other cases in which police pretty much took the attitude, well, they're an adult, they could be missing if they want to be, and then their bodies were found later.
Yeah.
So,
to me, like, looking at his photos, like, he doesn't seem unhappy. Like, he's smiling in most of his photos.
Yeah.
Besides his mugshot, obviously, but like, he might have had a little bit of trouble with the law, but he seems like, people loved and cared about him. And those are the cases that always get me, Ricky, because, I focus on those ones that have little to no media coverage.
Right, and his is one of them.
That's why they go cold like that. It's because they're like, oh, well, he was arrested before. He's probably just doing whatever. And that's what's sad to me is because I feel like if they would put more effort into these, like, we would find him or figure out what happened to him sooner, then we're coming up on almost a year that he's been missing now.
Yeah, almost a year.
Almost a year.
Be a year and a year in just 4 days, yeah.
And that's actually, I mean, all these cases are sad to me, and I hate when I say that, but I mean, some are especially sad because I feel like they're just, thrown immediately into the files. Like, oh wow, this kid is. He can go missing if he wants to. He's 18. Well, he still has family that cares about him.
Yeah.
He still looks like he was a fun guy. He's smiling in all of his photos.
Yeah, definitely.
So obviously he wasn't, I mean, so what if he got in trouble a little bit? Who doesn't sometimes? That doesn't make you a bad person. True. There's still family that cares about you and loves you and want to know like where you are and at least have that closure for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with Diane on that one. They're still human beings. People still love them, no matter their criminal. Definitely, absolutely.
Exactly. And that's my whole point of, doing the Kansas cold cases is, there's so many cases that I see that just are tossed to the side because of those issues. And that's not fair. They should all be treated the same.
Yeah. They should be. I agree. All right. Now let's hopefully we can help get him found.
Right. Yeah. Let's talk about Suzanne Morphew.
Yeah, I'm going to cover her flyer, and then I've got a big update on her case.
I just saw something about this, Ricky. You brought it to me the other night, and I saw something in my feeds, and I wanted to watch it, but I saved it later because I wasn't really ready for that yet.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay. Suzanne Morphew been missing from Salida, Colorado since May 10th of 2020. She was 49 when she went missing. She just had a 50th birthday. She is 5'4", 110 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. The exact circumstances of her disappearance are not known, but the initial report was that she had went on a bike ride on County Road 225 and West Highway 50, located in unincorporated Chaffee County, Colorado. Her bike was recovered, but there's been no information as to the condition of it. I have seen some clips where it said that it looked like somebody just kind of threw it where it was laying at, that it didn't look like it was involved in any kind of an accident or anything, that it was thrown there. Investigators did find an item or article that they believe belongs to Suzanne, but they've never released what that item or article is. The big update is they did arrest her husband, Barry Morphew, yesterday, and they've charged him with first-degree murder after deliberation. They charged him with tampering with physical evidence, and they charged him with public servant attempt to influence. And he's currently in Chaffee County Jail right now. I watched a press conference yesterday afternoon on my break at work, and some of the questions they were asking the district attorney and the sheriff was, when they arrested him, did they ask him, sorry about my phone there, they asked him whether he where she was, what he may have done to her, anything like that. They basically questioned him, and he didn't answer a single question. Instead, right off the bat, he requested a lawyer. So interview was terminated immediately. The Chaffee County Sheriff did say that they believe at this point in time they feel like she's no longer alive. They asked if they had any kind of a manner of, the reporters asked if they had any kind of a manner of death. They said that since the body still has not been found, that they don't, but they do have information leading them to believe how a certain scenario played out. They did not elaborate on it. They really didn't go into a lot about it because they said it's still an ongoing active investigation, and they wanted to preserve the integrity of the investigation, so they were not willing to discuss or disclose much. But, that's the big, huge update is the fact that they did arrest Barry, and they did charge him with first-degree murder after deliberation, and the evidence tampering, and the attempt to influence a public servant. So if anybody has any information regarding Suzanne's disappearance or, her whereabouts, please call the Chaffee County, Colorado Sheriff's Office at 719-539-2596 or the Colorado Bureau of Investigation at 719-647-5999. And, no matter how small of a piece of information, just call it in and let them have it so they can see if it's of importance or not. It's huge. It's been a year in coming that, everybody's kind of looked at Barry because initially when he put out.
What's up with May 10th?
I don't know. What was Mother's Day, for one?
Well, no. I mean, the last case was May 10th.
Yeah.
Right.
But when Barry initially put out his pre-recorded plea video, he didn't even do it live. He did a pre-record. It barely lasted 30 seconds. It was like 28 seconds long was all it was. So people kind of had raised eyebrows over that. And then he supposedly left right before Mother's Day to go to a job site to do some work. He stayed in a hotel. In the hotel room, they found, one of his workers found like an insurance paper in the wastebasket. They said in the bathroom, the towels were like soaking wet, and the whole room reeked of bleach and that kind of thing. So there was some speculation that maybe he was setting that up as an alibi that he had been there or whatever. And he gave permission for his workers to stay in the room after he checked into it and stuff. And so, I mean, just a lot of people just were really looking at him funny.
Me included.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Just have to wait and see how it all unfolds now. See if he eventually cracks and says, okay, here's what happened.
Right.
We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Right. Well, it's interesting.
Yeah. And I know Suzanne's brother and sister and family are been waiting for this for a while too. So hopefully now they can get on the road to justice and get on the road to finding out what happened to her and where she may be.
Right. Well, we got a couple more cases for y'all. Then we do have our located safe reel. We are running out of time. Let's go ahead and go through these last ones real quick. Tell us about Tucker Becker.
Okay. Tucker Becker, another Wichita one here. Missing since March 25th of 2021. He's 15 years old. He's 5'5", weighs 135, brown hair, blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Tucker's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get him found and back to where he needs to be. Another 15-year-old. A lot of those tonight, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about Veronica.
And this was one that was actually messaged to me yesterday and asked if I would do. Veronica Gallegos, I hope I said that correctly, missing from Gun Barrel City, Texas. Missing since January 11th, 2005. She was 19 when she went missing. She would now be 35. She's 5'4", 150 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Veronica's live-in boyfriend said she packed a suitcase and left. He speculated she'd return to her native Mexico. She's never been heard from again. Her family reported her missing 3 or 4 days after her disappearance. Veronica left behind her purse, her Mexican identification, her 6-month-old child. Her boyfriend is considered a person of interest in her case and has stopped cooperating with investigators. Foul play is possible in her disappearance. Again, she was 19 when she went missing. She would now be 35. She's 5'4", weighs 150, has black hair and brown eyes. She has a dime-sized circular scar on her right forearm. If you have any information regarding Veronica's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Henderson County, Texas Sheriff's Office at 903-675-5128 and see if we can't help get her located. That's a long
hate seeing those old cases.
Yeah, been missing just over 16 years. And there's really not much media out on her either. I did some research on her case before I made the flyer. Basically went on charlieproject.org and NamUs, and that was pretty much it. There were a couple of news articles here and there, but not much. So hopefully we can get some more exposure going on and get some more information going on.
We have 2 more cases for everybody, and I think these are a related situation, right?
Yeah, they are sisters. And Robin, I don't know if he was the father of the baby or not. That I have never been able to find. Nothing clear cut on that. It's a good question. It'd be interesting to know.
Tell us about these sisters.
All right, this one is Yesina Gonzalez. I want to make sure I get the right one here. She is missing from Topeka, Kansas since April 23rd, 2021. She's 15 years old. She's 5'3", weighs between 125 and 140. She has dark brown hair and dark brown eyes. It's believed she may be with her sister, Christina Gonzalez, who's also considered missing and endangered. If you have any information regarding Yesina's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get these girls found. And hopefully we can. All right. And then you got her sister's flyer there handy, and we'll cover Christiana. All right. Christina Gonzalez, missing from Topeka since April 23rd, 2021. She's 16. She's 5'2" to 5'3", weighs between 150 and 160 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Again, she's believed to be with her sister Yesina Gonzalez, who's also considered missing and endangered. If you have any information regarding Christiana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department. Again, 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And, no matter how small a piece of information you guys may have regarding where these 2 sisters or any of the ones we cover tonight are, please call it in and see if we can't help wrap up a case tonight. Please, please, please. Yeah, I do. I feel for the parents. I feel for the kids that get left behind by parents missing. Yeah, definitely. A lot of unanswered questions. Like Suzanne Morphew, she's got 2 daughters that I'm sure are wondering where she's at as well. Another friend of mine made it listening from Kansas City, Missouri. And especially if the remaining parent has anything to do. Yeah, I think about that too, because, on the one hand, the one parent may have done something to that parent, meaning physically harmed them, killed them. So that parent has been taken away from those kids. And then if the other parent eventually gets arrested for that and goes to prison for the rest of their life, they've taken themselves out of their kid's life. So pretty much leaving their children as an orphan for the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hurtful for the kids, definitely.
Right. Well, Ricky, it's about that time where we're close to the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call this the segment that makes Ricky almost cry.
Almost.
He gets real happy on this one.
Yes, I do.
This is going to be our located safe reel tonight. We want to thank Kelsey for she's been here the last 2 shows. You're probably going to have to just get used to seeing her. I think I'm probably going to mail her a headset tomorrow. So she's probably just going to be a
I was just thinking that, I need a headset. I feel lame with my little.
I have the exact same one Ricky has. I sent him that one, so I'm going to send you one tomorrow. It might not be tomorrow. I have to work. But
I'll look more professional.
Yeah,
it'll sound great.
They're nice headsets. I like them.
DM me your address tomorrow, and I'll get that sent out to you sometime.
Okay. Thank you, Derek.
But, yeah, no problem. We're going to go ahead and play this Located Real Safe.
Yeah. Located
Safe Reel. You're watching the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. We'll be right back after this.
Part of the show.
The best part.
I always like seeing that. Like it.
Yes.
Yeah. Another hour-long show. Sorry we got such a late start again, guys, tonight.
Yeah, we got some night owls hanging out with us on this episode.
Definitely. And our next show is going to be Tuesday, May 11th. And we'll try to get it on time next week.
Yeah, you don't have to wait so long this week. It seems like from Tuesday to the next Thursday is like forever.
Yeah.
We've talked often about because it's Ricky's days off. We've talked about trying to figure out how to do it because I think I like Tuesday shows, but to me Thursday nights kind of like that's what like the ones that I really look forward to. Like I feel like Thursday is a good time where people are ready to watch something. I feel like Tuesday's kind of early in the week. People got like karate lessons for their kids. Football practice. Thursday's kind of like a relaxed kind of night, So I really like the Thursday night shows a lot. But Tuesdays are a lot of fun too. We have a lot, especially last week we had a ton of cases. And I have a kid walking through here. I'll be back in just a second.
Whoops.
Okay.
You're welcome, Patty. And thank you. And Diana, thank you guys for all you do. Never forget how. Yep, you're very welcome. Thank you. And Mondi, yes, thank you for the hard work you put into locating these missing. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. As of what day was it? April 28th, I believe it was. We celebrated our 9-year anniversary. So Kansas Missing and Unsolved is 9 years old now. Cannot believe I've been doing this for 9 years.
I know.
Yeah, Rod, you have a good night too, and thank you for tuning in tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
The podcast.
Yeah, come back Tuesday, Rod.
Yeah, definitely. The podcast we've only doing a little over a year. It was a year in March, but Kansas Missing and Unsolved as a whole, I started 9 years ago. So
yeah,
I'm glad I messaged you that one time, Ricky.
Yes, I am too. Very glad.
Me too, because I always thought like Ricky needs to have a show, because he's been doing this for a long time. And Derrick, I followed him for a long time and I always thought what he was doing was awesome, but it needs a little bit more, something more interactive, and I don't know how to do all that stuff. So I'm glad that you were able to jump in and help him, get more views and get more shares. And
I'm a firm believer in, whether it's you believe in God or energy or whatever, I'm a firm believer that things rarely happen by accident.
Right.
Right. I feel like there was a calling for me to message this man. I was like, I at first just started off with me interviewing him, but we did one show together and I was like, me and this dude should do a show every week. I mean, this is what we're doing,
right.
This is awesom. So I'm really glad that we did that interview. I'm really glad that it turned into this show. And this is probably my favorite part of the week every week, just getting to do KMU and doing our best to try to bring people home and, just having fun with everybody that hangs out every week.
Yeah. Right. If anybody wants to see that interview, it's on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, look up Ricky Chabruggi, Kansas Missing and Unsolved. And that interview is on that YouTube channel.
All right, I'm going there later because I definitely want to see it.
Yes,
like I said, I'm really excited, Derrick, that you came across him. And I just, Ricky does amazing things. And I followed his page for a long time. I started the Catherine Adam page. That was my first page, just because I'm always interested in the colder cases. I feel like they don't get the media exposure because we didn't have all the internet back then, when these people went things. So for me to share those things, and just get it out there again in the public, may spark somebody's interest or somebody may know something. So that's why the podcast is great because it's more interactive and people can speak out and call out cases. Like I've done so many pages of people calling out names, in the podcast. Like you see, here's my notebook for tonight. So, it's great.
And that's the thing about the internet. I mean, there's good things about the internet, like what we do, and all the other missing persons pages and stuff like that. And then there's the nefarious side of the internet where you got the predators and the traffickers and people trying to rip people off out of money. And I mean, I'm constantly getting bogus friend requests from scammers that I don't even acknowledge because I know that's what they're trying to do. So, I mean,
Yep. I've been getting those calls. I got a call the other day trying to say that my Social Security had a fraud on it. And I answered it because I didn't know the number. So, it's like puts me on hold, and he's like, it was some recording and it said something about your Social Security has a fraud. And I'm thinking, with my unemployment, how I have that fraud. I'm like, maybe that has something to do with it. So it finally gets through, and he's like, who am I talking to? I'm like, you don't know who you called? And he hung up right away. Like, it's like, if you're calling me about a fraud, you should know who you've called. You know what I mean? But it obviously was a phishing attempt. And there's so much of that nowadays. And it's like, if they would just put that effort into getting a real job, like, hello.
Right. Uh-huh. He was probably like, oh, crap, I just screwed up my own scam.
Yeah. Well, and not to be like, whatever, but I knew right away he had this foreign accent.
Yeah.
Those scams come from, other countries because it's easier to get away with it and they don't trace it. And right away he was like, oh, who am I speaking with? And I was like, you don't know who you called? Click. Yeah. Nice.
I made the mistake of answering one, and it was that your extended warranty on your vehicle is about to expire. I'm like, my car's in 1994. I don't have
and I would get those, and I was like, that's funny because I don't even own a vehicle. So nice, right. Oh my goodness.
Why did I want an extended warranty on a car that's almost 30 years old, for crying out loud?
Right. So.
And I had one on a student loan forgiveness. I'm like, I don't have a student loan. Sorry.
But how many people fall for that, though, too? Because
I know.
They do the right thing and they don't know,
Mm-hmm.
So awareness, people.
Yeah, I watch a YouTube channel called Scammer Payback, and it's this guy. He didn't use his real name. He uses the name Pierogi. But he gets on the phone with these scammers, and he just basically wastes their time screwing around with them. And then
I remember you told me about that.
Yeah. And then while he's doing that, since he gave them access to their computer to do this alleged refund, he gets into their computer and starts deleting everything off their computer.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
It is awesome. Just look for Scammer Payback. That's the YouTube channel.
Karma.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. We had one guy who was literally begging him to give his files back. He's like, no, you need to quit doing this and get a real honest job and quit doing this.
Right.
Yeah. I love watching it. It's hilarious. He poses as an old lady. There's two of them. One of them's named Mary, and I think the other one's name's Vivian or something like that. And he's just awesome at it. He is just so awesome at it. One of the scammers even tried to tell him he was him. He tried to tell him that he was the Scammer Payback guy. I was like, oh my gosh, what an idiot scammer.
Oh boy, the things people will do, right?
Yeah. He's even gone as far as to tell some of these scammers where they're actually at, as far as address, country. Oh yeah, you're in Calcutta and you're on this street and you're close to this and you're on the top floor, aren't you? And then they're just like, yeah, click. It's hilarious.
Good night, Jason.
Good night, Jason.
Thanks for joining us, Jason. Thanks everybody for joining us. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but with that though, we do want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight, and please continue sharing the shows and telling everybody about us and telling everybody about the page and about Kelsey's pages and of course, go to backhomemedia.com and check out our past shows there as well, plus other shows that Back Home Media takes care of as well. There's a lot of those on there to check out. But just want to say again, thank everybody for joining us. You guys have a good night. God bless. Take care. We'll see you on May 11th at 9:00.
Well,
I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words giving weight without thought in a person, the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arm, to display for the salt, to disgrace in this arm, pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death, or water left with all the thorns, with the petals gone, settle on the breath of autumn. If the crown fits, wear it, the crown fits.